let's talk about this hot mess, shall we? So things have gone to seed really quick, and before I could get out here and get them taken care of, the bok choy has truly bolted. It's gone to seed. It'll go to the chickens. The lettuce is still looking okay. In some parts, our broccolini it's just gone crazy, and it went to seed very, very quickly as well. So I'm just gonna probably pull it all and give it to the chickens, and then I'm going to plant again and probably put in more radishes and maybe some more beets back into this area and let them grow so that we'll have a little bit of a later summer, early fall crop for those. Really the best way to do that is I'm just going to chop them off at the top and leave the roots in there so that they can just kind of dissolve into the ground and help put back good stuff back into the boxes. Let's walk through the garden. Our strawberries are doing fantastic, and the herbs that I put in there, the oregano, is spreading and taking. It's becoming a great, it's kind of sharing itself, but it's becoming a great ground cover for these. But we've got some big clusters happening. I don't know if you can see that. Some that are about ready to pick already. Super happy with that. All 3 boxes are doing good. The beans came up since the last time we did a garden walk with you. So they're coming up. The eggplants are still pretty small, but they're doing okay. And then the sweet potatoes are starting to spread like they should. The flowers that I seeded are doing really great in the pots here. And the tomatoes and borage are taking off too. So I'm pretty excited about that. The grapes are going bazonkers, and we've been talking about, you know, should I trim at the bottom, and do we need to put another trellis so that they can hang and get some strength, because we have clusters galore on just about every bush. So pretty excited about that, or every vine. Over here in these other 2 boxes, the beets are looking fantastic. And here's this really big red strawberry. Love it. The cucumbers are looking really good. The peppers are looking great. I put some, I believe it's parsley and along back here behind the peppers, and it's slowly taking, but hopefully it's gonna be doing all right there. You can see that the cabbage, the first ones that I planted, are just doing great, and we'll keep them going until almost fall when they get their big heads on them. And then the red cabbage is starting to take off as well. It likes the shade. Our potatoes are starting to bloom, which I'm really excited about. The thing that we're working on with these is that as the potato plant grows, we're going to sidestep it. So you can see some of the new dirt that I've added on, and I'll be adding a little bit more this weekend. And it's just to keep them so that there's place for the shoots to come out and grow the spuds that we're wanting. I'm realizing that I'm having a little bit of an issue with grasshoppers again. So I'm working on, my first method is going to be to boil up some garlic, and you boil it for a long time, and then you strain it, put it into a spray bottle, I think with a little bit of dish soap, and spray that. It doesn't hurt the plants, but the grasshoppers, I've used it before and they don't really like it. If that won't take care of them, then I have some neem oil that's also a natural oil, and it won't hurt the plants, but it will keep the grasshoppers off that as well. And the neem oil supposedly doesn't hurt the good bugs that we want in here. So I have 2 plans to take. The raspberries are starting to do. That little one is coming up right here. We were worried about it, but it's starting to come up. And the garlic and I think it's garlic and onions that are in here going crazy, so that's good. This raspberry bush is doing much better. And I'm working on fencing in the other half of this just to kind of help hold the dirt in, and then I'll add a little more soil and maybe some mulch into this. The peas are doing well. You can see they're starting to bloom on this side. We've got some flowers coming on, so that's really fun to see that. And like I say, these back ones are vining ones and the front ones are bush peas, so they'll be doing good. And then the tea garden is also kind of a little bit of a hot mess, but I'm gonna be harvesting some back behind here. This is just regular bee balm, and I'm gonna just cut some off pretty low and hoping we should be able to get a couple of harvests off this each year. But I made some tisane, which is, we'll go over that in another video, but I made some tisane with the lemon balm and honey and some of our mint, and it was amazingly delicious. So I'm gonna do this again. I'm gonna harvest these and I'll show you in another video how to preserve these and get them ready for maybe some gifts for Christmas and time that way. So anyway, here we go. And I'm gonna grab some of this lemon as well. And I'm just using my little garden snippers. You can use whatever you have, shears, sharp shears. You can see that these are starting to get to the top where they are going to, there's a grasshopper, darn you. Where they'll bloom. They get a really, especially this back bee balm, it gets a really pretty flower on top of it. But we're gonna try to harvest before it does that, so we can get a second harvest off of it. For this, I'm gonna also grab some of our mint that's over here and a little bit of the sage as well to dry. Here's our sage. I'm just gonna come in here and cut some of this. It will just bring itself back. Oh, love that smell. And I should have grabbed a basket. Oh, I did, it's over there. Okay, the bee balm I can tell by smell. Clearly the sage. We have two different mints, and there might even be three. I believe I did regular mint, peppermint, and spearmint. And sometimes you can get a really good difference, but I'm just gonna grab some because for the tea, it's all good. Okay, now mint is, I put it in a container because it's very, very invasive and it will just take over wherever you put it. Thought of planting it somewhere else and then realized how invasive it was, and I wanted to not have to keep getting rid of it. So that's where we're at. So I discovered these last fall when I was taking out all the plants, and I didn't know what they were, but you know, leave what you find. So I was hoping that this is what they were, but they're a praying mantis cocoon. You can see the little tiny one that's on there. We have one here growing on, that was put onto this trellis, and then we have another one up here that I discovered, like I said, when I was ripping off the beans last year. But hoping that that also is full of little praying mantises, because they're amazing for the garden. We want those in here. So on our next episode, I'll walk you through what we'll do with the herbs that I picked tonight for our tisane that we're going to be making. And I'll explain the difference between tisane and tea. And it'll be fun to show you how to dry it or use it fresh. So if you like what you see, hit the subscribe button and leave any comments that you have. We'll be happy to respond to them. But thank you for joining us.